Hi, boys and girls. So this is Miss Lugo, and I just want to go and offer you a video that could help you be successful when you are working independently on division, because I know division can be a tricky concept. What you might need to have handy is either a multiplication chart, just so that you can reference if you are unsure of your multiplication facts. Okay, so if you notice on the left side, I have listed the steps for division when I use the standard algorithm. The first step would be to divide, then I multiply, then I subtract and bring down. And then if you notice, I added number 5 where it says repeat as needed. So if you still have numbers remaining, you're going to continue to repeat these steps until you have no more numbers left. All right, let's get started. So we are going to look at the number 28 divided by 2. And remember, the strategy I taught you was our divisor is the number 2. So on the side of our paper, we're just going to list our multiples of 2 so that it's easy for us to reference them. So on the side, I'm going to skip count by 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And I think I'm going to stop there because I think I have enough that it will help me help me solve my problem, okay? So the first thing I have to do is, looking at my number 28, I'm going to look at the first number, which is 2. And I'm going to see how many times can my divisor go into the number 2. So I have 2. How many groups of 2 can I get from the number 2? If I look over here at my handy dandy list, I see that I can get one group of 2 from the number 2. So that would mean I'm going to 2 goes into 2 one time. So I'm going to write 1 on top because I need to make sure my numbers are lined up, okay? My next step is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply 1 times 2. And I know that 1 times 2 is the same as 2. And I could always look over here. This is my first one, so this is 1 times 2. And that equals 2. If you look at our steps, the next step is to subtract. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2 minus 2. I know if I have 2 cookies and I eat 2 of them, then I have nothing left over. So you don't need to write a 0 here, but if that makes you feel secure, go for it. The next step I have is to bring down. So I see that I still have the number 8 to divide. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that number down. And now I have to repeat as needed. So the first thing I have to look at, going back up, is to divide. I need to see how many groups of 2 can I get with the number 8. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to count. I can get 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, right? So I know that I can divide 2 into 8 4 times. So I'm going to write my number 4 up here. And then I know that 4 times 2 is 8. And I can always check over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times 2 is the number 8. I'm going to write it down here. Then my next step is to subtract. So I'm going to subtract, and I know 8 minus 8 is 0. So then I have to look, do I have any other numbers that I have left to bring down? I do not. Do I have anything left over? I do not, so I do not have a remainder. So this means that 28 divided by 2 is 14, okay? So I hope this was helpful for you. This is Miss Lugo back to go over how to divide with remainders. So again, I just want to point out the fact that I have the steps for division for the standard algorithm on the left side. And this time we are going to be dividing 85 divided by 3. So remember, my first step when I am doing my division is to list my multiples on the side. My multiples of 3, because that is my divisor. So I'm going to skip count and list my multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, and I think I'm going to stop there because I think I have enough multiples of 3 to help me with my problem, okay? The next step I'm going to do, or the first step I'm going to do, is I am going to look at my numbers and see how many groups of 3 can I get from with the number 8 without going over. So I'm looking over here and I know I can get one group of 3 and I can get another group. But if I went to the third group, then it would be too big. So I know I can get 2 groups of 3 out of my number 8. So that is where I divided. So I'm going to go ahead and place my number 2 above the number 8 because I need to make sure I'm lining up my numbers so I don't get confused. My next step after I divide is multiply. So I know that I am going to multiply 2 times 3. So I'm going to write my little multiplication symbol just to remind me. And I am going to multiply 2 times 3, and I know that equals 6. So I'm going to write my number 6 underneath the number 8 because that's the number I divided by. And then my next step is to subtract. So I know that if I take away 6 from 8, I have 2 left over. So I'm going to write my number 2 right below where I am subtracting. So then the next step is I need to analyze, can I get another group of 3 from 2? I see that 2 is less than 3, so no, I cannot get another 3. So that means I need to bring down my next number. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my number 5. So now my number 5 says to repeat as needed, and I see that I still have numbers to divide. So I am going to go back to the top and I'm going to first divide. So I need to see how many groups of 3 I can get out of the number 25. So I'm going to come over here to my handy dandy list of multiples and I'm going to find a number that's close to 25 without going over. And I see that it is the number 24. I can also count how many groups it took to get to 24. So I can come back up and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know I can get 8 groups of 3 out of the number 25. So I'm going to go ahead and write my number 8 here. My next step is then to multiply. So then I'm going to multiply 8 times 3. And I already checked over here that 8 times 3 is 24. So I'm going to write 24. My next step is to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 24 from 25. And when I subtract 24 from 25, I have 1 left over. Now I have to look at, do I have any other numbers to bring down? No, I don't. And I know I can't get another group of 3 out of 1, so now I see that I have a remainder 1. Remember, boys and girls, if you have a remainder, you need to make sure you're writing it at the top with an R and putting how many left over you have. So I can see that 85 divided by 3 is equal to or the same as 28 remainder 1. I hope this was helpful.